told me that this was not the Met Gala, but Heidi Klum's Halloween party, which also is in New York every year and is outrageous, I would have said, yeah. Hi, everybody. It's Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans, but now the proud host of Fashion Thursdays with Diane. Would I be in fashion? Would I be a true fashionista if I wasn't commenting on the Met Gala? Ugh. So let me say this. And yes, I'm cynical. And yes, I've been in fashion for over 60 years. So you sort of get a feeling like you've seen it all, you've done it all. But 77 years, that's how long the Met Gala has been around. I went to the Met Gala twice before it became celebrity driven. I went when it was all about socialites and money in New York. And it was just this whole insane process. And if you didn't have at least a $30,000 to $50,000 gown on, you actually shouldn't be there. I think in these times that two historical events come to mind when I think of the Met Gala. First is Rome, ancient Rome, when it was an empire, and Emperor Nero deciding it was a really good idea to get rid of the Black Plague by burning up all of Rome and all the inhabitants within. And so when I look at the Met Gala and what is made out of it, like, oh my God, it's the Met Gala. I think with everything that's going on in the world, this is like Emperor Nero playing his fiddle while Rome burns. And the other thought that comes to mind is Marie Antoinette. I mean, cake. When her aides are telling her after she's bought like $3 million diamond necklaces at the age of 16 or 17 years old. My lady, the peasants have no bread. Let them eat cake. Yeah. Okay, so now I guess we know a little bit about my attitude towards the Met Gala, and I want to just set this up for you on that particular day, Monday, May 5th. What was going on while we're getting all hyped up for the Met Gala? Okay, so the Met Gala, fashion's big night out. And may I say that as little as a decade ago, it was one of many fashion's nights out. But fashion has shrunk so much and been demoted so much in terms of everyday life importance that it's the last man standing. It is that one shining moment, supposedly. The man who probably would have been the foundational head of the committee to plan Fashion's Night Out, since the theme was tailoring black style, super fine, Sean Diddy was having jury selection for his sex trafficking case, which will probably put him in prison for the rest of his life. He was truly the shining example of super fine men's tailoring for black men, had his own hugely successful fashion label, and was sort of the king of making money, being ostentatious, having all these parties, always being so well dressed. Yeah, okay, how far we fall. And the other thing that was getting attention, and I'm going to ask you a quiz at the end of this, was an announcement from the medical community that there is now an amazing cure for 18 to 22 types of cancer through a new kind of immunotherapy where you could have giant tumors, you could be stage 4, and you wouldn't even have to have chemotherapy, you wouldn't have to have radiation, and you wouldn't have to have surgery. All you have to do is an infusion and a pill. All right, so let's just put this in context. Out of those 3 publicized events, Met Gala, fashion, Sean Diddy, The Rise and the Fall of the Great, and A Cure for Cancer. What do you think got the most publicity and the most airtime? Of course, the Met Gala. Now, yeah, I live in New York, so it's not even in a way realistic, I'm sure, if you live outside of New York or LA. It probably didn't garner all the importance, but on the national networks, that was it. Can you believe it? What kind of world do we live in today where they announce, and believe me, I had stage 3 cancer, breast cancer. So yeah, this really attracted me. But it's everything. 1 in 2 people, 50% of America is going to experience cancer in their lifetime. But we're buzzed about the jury selection for Sean Diddy, and more than that, we're super buzzed about the fashion. So, what we're going to do on this particular Fashion Thursday is I've not seen any of these pictures. I watched parts of the Met Gala, but I hadn't seen it all. And everybody wanted me to be way off the cuff. And I'm going to go a little bit against my nature and be kind of critical and sarcastic about some of this stuff because honestly, if you told me that this was not the Met Gala, but Heidi Klum's Halloween party, which also is in New York every year and is outrageous, I would have said, yeah, I see it. There's some really good Halloween costumes. I'm not sure that I would have that total attitude about this being every hip hop star's fashion show. But you know what? I say this to my producer, Lisa. Let's go for it. Diana Ross. Okay. This was absurd. I mean, yes, I am close to Diana Ross's age. I'm about to turn 80. She's 81. I say bravo. She looked slamming. But the theme was tailoring, not whatever this was. Did it garner her a lot of attention? Yes. Did it deserve to? Yeah. Does she look great for her age? Effing believable, but not the theme. Let's move on. So this is Coleman D'Amica. I mean, okay, it's fine. I thought the men really fell short. I don't know. Not my favorite. Next, my favorite, my number one pick for the entire evening is Zendaya. Now, she is the face of Louis Vuitton this year. And this is a Louis Vuitton 3-piece suit. And everybody kept saying, oh my God, look at how beautiful the tailoring is. I have one Louis Vuitton jacket. I can attest to the fact that the quality is mind boggling. And if you ever see Macron, the president of France, his wife, she wears exclusively Louis Vuitton tailoring, usually 99% in cream white as Zendaya. I'm not sure I love the hat. I'm not sure I wouldn't have loved a fedora instead, but this was what I thought the event was going to be all about. May I say one other thing? The carpeting, that mid-blue carpeting with little pink rosebuds, it really bothers me. And it bothers me for the entire evening and the theme and the other commentary I'm going to make. Let's move on next. Yeah, so many of the people that participated, the guests, are in black or wine, deep wine, or colors that evoke fall, winter. That to me, the carpeting was a complete distraction. Sorry, I don't see the theme here. I don't love it. Maybe I love the centerpiece a little bit and think that, yeah, I'd love to see some costume jewelry come back. And the hat, I don't get the hat with the dress at all. What happened to all the designers next? What, can't you follow a theme? I mean, the theme was pretty easy. See what I mean about fall colors? That is a dark pine green. I don't get it for the season. I don't get it for the time of year. I usually love what she wears, but this is total miss for me. Complete. Next. Oh, okay. Bad Bunny. I have to be perfectly honest. I love Bad Bunny. I do. I don't know why. I'm almost 80 years old. I should be walking around complaining, his lyrics are terrible. But I actually like him a lot. I don't, and I like the white shoes and I like the white tie. I don't get the bag at all. Am I missing something here? Is he going bowling after he goes off the blue carpet? I'm not sure, but I hope you've got your bowling uniform in there because that bag has nothing to do with that outfit. Definitely bad bunny for the evening. Not good bunny, bad bunny. Let's move on. All right, so this is Louis Vuitton, and it's the logos on top, and it's a damier check on the bottom. The cigar, whatever. The Bermuda shorts, kind of cute on their own, actually. Not sure I love the shoes with it, but I feel that it at least tenuously follows the theme of black style, super fine tailoring. There's Mr. Fuzzy in the background commenting on this. Yeah, it's okay. And I don't love the Merlot scarf. I think that's where your eye goes. And, I will say this. There are a team of 9 people who dress most of these celebrities and fluff them up and perfect them. And it was a terrible rainy night. It was really challenging before they're seen on the blue rosebud carpet. Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't truly move me, and I am the biggest fan of superfine tailoring. I am not a dress girl. I'm not a ruffle girl. I am not comfortable in hyper feminine clothing, but I think I would like the Bermuda shorts, please. I like that. I never thought about doing logo shorts, but very cute. As an outfit, drop the cigar. Okay, so that's a Formula One driver, Louis Hamilton. That makes sense to me, although this look was repeated a couple of times. That's okay. I love the elegant white suiting. I love the fit of the jacket, and I am loving a diamond brooch, which actually Adrian Brody wore to get the Oscar this year. I love putting a brooch on the lapel of a tailored suit. It seems that double breasted was really the call out for the evening because most of the suiting that worked and was featured was double breasted. But, here's the deal. At least if you're going to see these celebrities in completely manufactured clothing, they probably didn't choose, maybe had a little bit of collaboration with, but you can relate to it. I mean, there's so much clothing that came off this runway that you couldn't relate to at all. So bravo to him. I'm going to say I'm not really aware of him as a celebrity, but he looks pretty good in that suit. And I would like to own that suit. Moving on, ever moving on. So, ask me on a beauty level about all the things that drive me crazy about the cosmetic industry as all of us, you and I, are growing older. And one basic point I will tell you is if you have made the decision to have natural gray hair or white hair like me, you can't find an eyebrow pencil in the right color. Oh, it's so weird. You go out into the market and there's like warm blondes and beiges, but that doesn't look right with salt and pepper until you get to Prime Prometics, which is literally the only eyebrow pencil on the market that comes in a gorgeous shade of medium gray. It looks natural. It is a very thin pencil, so you can actually feather in the lines. Very easy to work with and stays on for hours and hours. So if you want to bring your look closer together where everything melds and you want a more authentic look in your makeup, because it's so weird to put on your makeup and then have to put on a different color than your hair for your eyebrows. No, you do not have to suffer that way anymore. Prime Prometics, their gray eyebrow pencil is superb and truly an entire cosmetic market. It stands head and shoulders above the rest and is truly unique and tailored to us older girls. Thank you, Prime Promedics. And of course, go to primepromedics.com, type in our code, and get a discount. You are going to love this product. It is truly tailored for us older girls, and I am so grateful to have it in my life and my beauty kit. Oh, come on. The Emperor's New Clothes by Marc Jacobs. And they're saying, oh, Tracy, oh, it's so Tracy. I like the hat as sort of a big take on a men's Borsalino. I liked the color on her, and at least it was some spring colors. But this is the Emperor's New Clothes. I mean, it was huge. We seem to have this year a complete obsession with giant bows in the back. Not sure what that's about, but my feeling, it didn't do her any favors. And no, Marc Jacobs is definitely not one of my favorite designers. To tell you the truth, my very favorite designer for the whole evening would be Louis Vuitton, the house of Louis Vuitton. Okay, Tracy, take off that bow. Let's go. So, Dapper Dan, well, I owe Dapper Dan a big shout out for my life. I don't think I was ever aware of how obsessed I could get with logos until Dapper Dan, who is now, I believe, working behind the scenes for Gucci, how much he changed the whole vision of fashion and actually the resale of fashion of Sci Poshmark with his usage of all the different logos from the LMVH logo to the Gucci logo to the Dior logo. And I have immense respect for him, but I hate this outfit. Truly hate it. Come on, you could have done better than this. And honestly, he has forwarded so many purchases for me of logo items. It started with handbags, but it's moved on to Gucci blazers, LMVH blazers. I love what the guy has done for fashion and have the deepest respect for him. But this outfit, a lot of black and white for the evening. I just hate it, honestly. And if you're going to do any form of a jacket, I want to see fine tailoring as requested in the invitation and structure. Sorry, I do like your shoes, though. But sorry. So Christian Latchman is a model. I don't know what to say. I would have liked wearing that to the Met Gala. There was a lot, I think, of confusion on how to follow the theme of the evening and not cross over into feminine. I love it, but in my own way, he is kind of pretty, huh? So, and I do love ivory. And I do love monotonal. So I think this outfit would have been ruined if it was black and white, but I love it as all white. Okay, so next. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, we've definitely got monotonal. We've definitely got what I think should be the number one color for spring, summer, which is that beautiful pale butter yellow. And I think it's creative of Lauryn Hill, and I so respect her music. I'm not sure I love that, but I do love that you got the yellow umbrella because it was just pouring cats and dogs. It was an evil night to be carrying a long train at the end of your gown. And I don't understand the blue handbag at all. I think it would have been so much better accomplished with a matching yellow handbag, which that's my new theme. Loafers, handbag, blazer, layering piece, all in one color. I'm like all about it. So bravo to Lauryn Hill for at least wearing the color of the season, at least matching the background flowers, which are pretty intrusive in each and every photo. So, and I give anybody credit for walking through the rain in this, having to dry off and then get on the carpet, and for walking, period, in something that probably weighs about 25 or 30 pounds. So, yay for yellow. Next. Okay. I love Tom Brown, and I am so glad since he went into bankruptcy and closed all his stores that we can still see an example of a really fine, precise, respectful tailor. He is the epitome of, I hate this outfit. She's out of her mind. Oh my God, come on. There had to be something better to wear than this. And I know she is not a girly girl like me, and I know she doesn't want to wear ruffles or whatever, but really? The only thing I liked about the outfit, the only thing, was the hat. And that was it. Hate to be cruel. I love her intellect. I love her style on The View. I truly, let's move on. Sorry, so sorry. Okay, Andre 3000. I love his music. I just think he is so elegant and such a genius. I'm not sure what's going on here. It almost looks military. And I have always seen him as a real purveyor of black style and beautiful tailoring and incredible presence. So I've got to put all of that into what this outfit is and say, not my favorite, but it doesn't break the bond I feel with him for just giving us throughout his professional life tons of style, really inspirational music, and really aspirational looks. Next, hated it. I hated it. I hated it. Now, other people said, oh, she really dressed as herself. I don't know Chapel. I am not familiar with her, but maybe people felt that the red hair worked with this fuchsia outfit. But first of all, what did this have to do with the theme of fine tailoring? Super fine tailoring, excuse me. Nothing. I say, and from being on television, tele-retailing for 30 years, I had to look at the clothing I designed from two points of view. The first point of view was, how was it going to look on the model? How was it going to look on the customer? But how was it going to look on camera? I don't feel that this looks particularly fantastic on camera. I think the one break she gets is she's on the actual red carpet. And so she doesn't have all those busy little flowers and rosebuds in her way. Sorry, I found this messy, ill-fitting, confusing, nothing to do with the theme of the evening. And I spent most of my life as a redhead. Not sure as a redhead that I totally agree that this gown is in sync with that long, bright red hair. Oh, I'm being so negative. Okay, we got to get something good. Let's go. Okay, it's true. There were a lot of girls last night who weren't wearing pants, but I loved the look. I thought she looked great in it. I thought, honestly, it looked like something like Vegas Showgirl, but I didn't care. At least it was tailored and it had some sparkle to it. And I liked the stockings. I liked the shoes. I liked the fit of the jacket. And you know what? It's brave. No two ways about it. Bravo. Loved the look. Could wear it with the trousers. Certainly would not be going out like that, but fashion needs to be daring. Fashion needs to be shocking. I thought this was a successful look. Next. So my girl Demi, who I have a tremendous amount of respect for at 62 years old, and dressed so impeccably for the Golden Globes, the whole award season, and the Oscars. What is this? They said it was an ode to a striped tie. But what kind of dress do you wear where you have to hold the whole thing together or it's going to collapse? I don't get it. And I do think it's Tom Brown, but I think she is so gorgeous and just got picked sort of as a runner-up prize, most beautiful woman alive, which I'm happy for her for, but she should have won the Oscar. This dress is not doing her any big favors, and she is one of the most beautiful people alive. You know you're in trouble when you honestly have to have people in your ear explaining this stuff to you, the references, or you don't get it at all. So bravo, Demi, for holding yourself all together here, but possibly not one of my favorite choices. Well, this is hilarious. Gap. The Gap. Yeah. Gap Studio. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was graceful. I thought it fit. I love the sleeves. Love that balance against a small waist. Had nothing to do with the theme of the evening. But if you want to take it as a jumpsuit, I guess that makes it a little more sportswear and tailoring. It's beautiful. And honestly, it is incredibly photogenic, which is what you want. And I believe Gap Studio is Zach Posen, because I actually just bought something from Zach Posen Gap Studio. And bravo, it's gorgeous. Not on theme, but beautiful. Next. Well, okay. Not my favorite. I don't like the trousers at all. I don't like the fit of the jacket, but at least it kept the theme. See how much this is so interesting. There is so much cream and white and neutral for the evening. So I guess that's a nod to spring and summer. But frankly, I think it's going to spill way over in fall and winter. Tom Ford, I loved him when he first introduced Gucci and introduced himself to the world. I haven't been too in love with him since, but I think it's a good look for her in terms of it not being a show look as if she's up on a stage. It's a more real look for her. It's kept very elegant and very quiet and very contained by the tailoring. So thank you, Mr. Ford, for at least respecting and following the theme of the evening. Okay, next. This is the whole deal to me. Zendaya in the LMVH cream suit and Rihanna this, and she's pregnant again. I loved this interpretation. It was feminine, it was bold, it was female, it was beautifully put together. I was just blown away. And that's it, people. I mean, yes, was I critical? Yeah, there was a lot that I didn't like. And considering the fact that you had to get these outfits together, absolutely a limitless budget and a major fashion star to partner with as a celebrity, I found the evening a bit disappointing. But then again, as Marie Antoinette said so famously, let them eat cake. Thanks for listening. I hope you got a slightly different point of view. Fashion's biggest night out. Over and out.
Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.